All right, today we're talking about the alpha male delusion. And this is a message to young men to not get caught up in being a so-called alpha male. Now, what is an alpha male? In terms of the human definition, an alpha male is a man tending to assume a dominant or domineering role in social or professional situations. Generally, these men are successful financially, well-liked, charismatic, and in many cases in good physical shape. These men are admired quite often by women and men. Women want to be with them. Men want to be them. But here's the problem about becoming an alpha male. The environment that you carry as an alpha male is very shallow. The reality is people only love alpha males because of. For example, if you're an alpha male, people only love you because of your success. People only admire you because of your money. People love you because of the nice car you have. People admire you because of the nice house you own. People admire you because of your high-paying job or the nice business you built for yourself. They don't necessarily admire you as a person. Because you have this lifestyle is the only reason why you have worth in the eyes of people, especially women. The alpha male lifestyle is a synthetic lifestyle based off the success or sustainability of the economy, especially here in the Western world. As long as the economy is doing well, the alpha male has a successful business, he can afford his gym memberships, and he can afford the house notes, the car notes, and of course, the women. But the real alpha male does not base himself off the success or sustainability of the economy, but his worth is based off the respect of his character. I'm well aware that a lot of young guys admire popular YouTuber Brandon Carter. But Brandon Carter is a synthetic version of an alpha male. Just because you work out, just because you make a lot of money, just because you hang out with attractive athletic women, just because you come off acting like a tough guy, does not make you a real alpha male. He is only a synthetic form because his lifestyle is based off the sustainability of the economy. The reason why his lifestyle is appealing to young men is because it appeals to the young man's ego. The ego in synthetic alpha males always seems to lead to narcissism. Whether it be out in the open or subtle, it ultimately appears to lead to self-idolatry. And that narcissism or alpha male delusion can sometimes lead to severe godlike complex, as in the case with fitness expert Greg Plitt. His alpha male delusion was so intense that he thought he could outrun a Metrolink train and ultimately was humbled by the train. I'm not on here to pick on Greg Plitt or Brandon Carter specifically, but because they promote the synthetic form of being an alpha male, then I have to come in to re-educate young men on what being a real alpha male is. It's about the respect of your character, as I mentioned earlier. When you step into the presence of a real alpha male, his presence is overwhelming to the point where even synthetic alpha males have to bow to him. Jesus Christ, by no stretch of the imagination, was a built, athletic, handsome guy. Matter of fact, the Bible records him as a man with no comeliness or beauty. You had no desire to follow him, yet he was the alpha male among his disciples. Not because he was the Son of God, but because he was respected by his character. He cared about people. He sacrificed himself for the benefit of others. One of the major attributes of being a real alpha male, or even a synthetic alpha male, is attracting women. I can tell a lot about you by the types of women you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with whores to build your ego, as in the case of Hugh Hefner, by definition, you are weak as a man. Or if you lay your bald head by the butt of some bimbo, then you are weak as a man, regardless if you are a so-called alpha male. Because if you have to define yourself by how many bimbos or whores or sluts you exploit, then you are a synthetic alpha male. Real alpha males do not need the company of anyone to define them because they know how to stand alone. Real alpha men are cautious about the types of women they associate themselves with because bimbos and scantily clad women can bring shame and disgrace to your image as a man. I remember several years ago, I went to the movies with a girl that dressed sexy, and I thought it was something I wanted. But when we got to the movies, I was so suddenly ashamed to be with her because of what she had on. My instincts were telling me she was bringing shame to my image and character. Young men, you want to be remembered for your positive impact on people's lives from your character and not from your worldly successes. It's funny how school emphasizes on getting a good education, but it never emphasizes on developing good character. What good is it to become a successful doctor if you are deliberately overcharging your clients? What good is it for you to be the CEO of a successful company when you mistreat and work your employees to death so the employees can satisfy your ego? You know, Steve Jobs, by society standards, was a successful alpha male. But after he died, he was not only remembered for his Apple products, but he was also known for being a jerk to his employees. If you have to sacrifice your character for worldly greatness, then you will never obtain greatness. What did Jesus say? He said, if you want to be great, then you must be willing to serve and care about others. Now, don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with trying to better yourself, especially if you have a family. But don't fall into the delusion of the synthetic alpha male's lifestyle, because it will potentially breed narcissism. You should never base your self-esteem on your lifestyle, because if for some strange reason you lose that lifestyle due to circumstances beyond your control, then there goes your self-esteem. Why do you think so many people killed themselves during the Great Depression? Because they tied their self-esteem to a system that was destined to fail. Real alpha males sacrifice their dreams so somebody else's needs can be met. You know, my dad and mom were getting ready to build their dream home several years ago, and my dad had been dreaming of building that home for years. But there was a lady whose house had burnt down. The building materials were already established on my parents' property for the contractors to get started. And instead of starting on their home, my dad made the decision to donate the building materials to that lady so she could have a home. For years, my dad had been dreaming of building that house, and he sacrificed his dream so somebody else's needs could be met. You can't have a better example of a real alpha male. That's what real alpha males do. They sacrifice and think about other people above their own desires so somebody else's needs can be met. Young men and M.g.t.o.w community, I ask you, do you want to be known as a successful doctor, or do you want to be known as a doctor who gives away free medical care to those who can't afford it? Do you want to be a successful chef who owns a chain of restaurants, or do you want to be known as the chef who gives away free food to the homeless? Do you want to be known as the guy who built his dream home, or do you want to be known as the guy who gave away his dream home so somebody else can have a home? M.g.t.o.w community, Christian young men, do you want to be known as a true alpha male who is admired by his compassion for others, or do you want to be the guy who is a part of the alpha male delusion? And to all my brothers and sisters in Christ, stay in that word, stay in prayer, stay living righteously according to how the Holy Spirit leads you, and God bless.